Okay, so yesterday we already started the next topic, and that is integrator, right? So basic construction of integrator, then its working, then the limitations, or we can say the drawbacks of ideal integrator. That also yesterday we discussed, and later on to minimize that drawbacks or to overcome it, we discuss about practical integrator. So basic difference between practical and ideal integrator is what? In practical integrator, we are using one feedback resistor RF, right, to limit the low frequency gain, or we can say DC gain. Otherwise, whenever the frequency, input signal frequency will be very low, then it becomes unstable, right? So to improve it, we preferred one feedback resistor, and accordingly in this frequency response I shown, at low frequency the gain of that integrator, it gets decided by RF and R1, right? And that's why this region of operation where the gain almost remains constant or it gets decreased by 3 dB, this is nothing but 3 dB decrease in gain from its maximum value, right? So that region of operation of that circuit is known as simply the amplifier, okay? And later on, that means after that particular frequency at which that gain decreases by 3 dB as compared to its maximum gain, and that particular frequency, we denoted it as a FA, okay? So after FA, if we increase the frequency, input signal frequency, the roll-off in gain starts by minus 20 dB per decade. Okay, and at a particular frequency again, somewhat much more frequency, that means FB, where that gain becomes 0 dB actual, right now, and absolute gain it will be 1, right? So FA and FB, or that region of operation of that circuit, is actually the working as an integrator, okay? So you have to remember, even if this is the complete frequency response for the shown circuit, or which we are calling it as an integrator, but partially that circuit that is between 0 to FA, it is simply working as inverting amplifier, and FA to FB, it works as an integrator, right? So what is that FA or FB, or how it is to be determined? Simply note down the formula for FA, that is equals to 1 upon 2 pi into RF into CF, and formula for FB, that is nothing but 1 upon 2 pi R1 into CF. Based on these two formulas, in your theory exam, question may get asked, numerical may get asked for 4 to 6 marks. Okay, and that's why you have to remember these two formulas for FA and FB. Okay, so that FA, it is dependent on feedback resistor RF and the feedback capacitor CF, while FB, it is dependent on input resistor R1 and the feedback capacitor, that is CF, that you have to note down. Okay, so we'll take one example, and the same example we will going to implement as our next practical also, right? So at your end, just note down that example. Am I audible properly? Blackboard visible properly? Is it okay? Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So at your end, note down, design an op-amp based integrator, design an op-amp based integrator for FB equals to, for FB equals to 1.5 kilohertz, for 1.5 kilohertz. Okay. So remember, this is our problem statement. Only FB is given and the complete circuitry we have to design and develop for our next practical purpose also. Okay. So there are few considerations. Which are those? Again, note down it. While designing an integrator circuit, the value of FB, basically it is taken as 10 times of FA. Okay, that you have to remember. FB, it is basically 10 times of FA. As FB is defined, that is 1.5 kilohertz, therefore, FA, it will be equals to 150 hertz only, right? Now, what is FA? As FA equals to 1 upon 2 pi RF into CF. Write down over here, let or consider or select CF equals to 0.1 microfarad. Consider CF equals to 0.1 microfarad. Therefore, RF is equals to 1 upon 2 pi into FA into CF, right? And that is equals to 1 upon 2 pi into FA, it is 150 hertz, into CF, that we consider as a 0.1 microfarad. Therefore, RF, value of RF equals to, calculate it. So simple calculation.
Sir, 10.61 into 10 raised to 3.
It is 10.61 kilo ohms. Right now. Or next, that is FB, as FB equals to 1 upon 2 pi into R1 into CF. Therefore, R1 equals to 1 upon 2 pi into FB, it is 1.5 K into capacitor is of 0.1 microfarad, so 0.1 into 10 raised to minus 6. Do it again. Is it there?
1.06.
What? Not only 1.06. It will be 1.06 into
Kilo.
10 raised to plus 3. Right now?
Yes, sir.
So it is 1 kilo ohms. While implementing the same circuitry, consider plus minus VCC equals to 12 volts. That is plus 12 and minus 12. Okay. Apply the input signal Vin as 1 volt peak to peak square wave with 1 kilohertz frequency. This should be your input signal. Remember it. Note down it at your end. Whenever we will start the practical, I will ask you about this input and our problem statement. So note down it. Vin 1 volt peak to peak square wave with 1 kilohertz frequency. Right? Now, see, What is the integration of step signal? Can anyone? If we applied such type of step signal to the integrator. Step signal means a constant DC for a particular time duration. And later on, we will go on to change it. So, what will be the output of integrator? What is the integration of this straight line? So, remember, there will be a ramp, negative ramp. Okay. So, you will observe if a step signal is applied, the output of integrator is a negative ramp like this. Okay. If I remove this one and applied a negative step signal like this, then the output of integrator, it will be a positive ramp coming from that previous value. So see, yesterday we defined that formula Vo equals to minus 1 upon RHCF integration of V in dt. So you have to add in that formula plus Vo at t equals to 0. That means its initial output voltage. Right? So see, if this square wave is applied, when the step signal is positive, we will be able to obtain a negative ramp, while that step goes to 0 and later on immediately goes to negative, that means minus VDC, then that ramp will become positive ramp. Okay. But its initial value will remain that during the positive half cycle, that is somewhat negative peak. And later on, if that square wave is continued like this, we will go on to obtain that output somewhat like a triangular wave. So for integrator, if the input is square wave, its output it should be a triangular. If we are getting the output same as that of input, that means just like a square wave, that means that integrator, that circuitry is not working as an integrator, right? So just consider if such type of input signal is applied, that is 1 volt peak to peak, square wave with 1 kilohertz frequency, already I mentioned, as we know, FA to FB, that is the region of operation of that circuitry as an integrator, right? Our FA is just 150 hertz and FB it is 1.5 kilohertz, okay? We are applying that input signal of 1 kilohertz, that means the applied input signal frequency, it lies between the range of FA to FB. Okay. And that's why over here we can say that circuitry it will be able to work as an integrator because the applied input signal frequency is 1K. Right. Now, if I kept that input signal amplitude as it is, that is 1 volt peak to peak, as a square wave, but if I change this input signal frequency from 1 kilohertz to 50 hertz only, 50. Got it? If I change the input signal frequency to this integrator circuit from 1 kilohertz to just 50 hertz, 50. What will be its output? Will it be triangular wave or will remain square wave? What do you think? Can anyone? See, if we apply that input signal frequency just 50 hertz, that means it is less than FA, right now. If it is less than FA, that region of operation of integrator, that is 0 to FA, is a amplifier region. Okay. So the obtained output signal, it will remain square with somewhat amplification. Somewhat amplification means it will be almost RF by R1 times. Correct? So to have the perfect integration of that square wave, that means to have the output as a triangular wave, the applied input signal frequency of that square wave, it should be between FA to FB. And that's why I consider that frequency as 1 kilohertz to check that circuitry is working as an integrator or not. Now, which readings or that observations should get taken, that we will discuss during the practical session. Okay. Now we'll switch to another application. Few applications was remaining, that basic applications. And in that, first one is op-amp as summing amplifier. The same application is also known as oblique adder, when it is to be called as a summing amplifier and when it is to be called as an adder, that I will explain. Its non-inverting terminal, again I will make it 0 or will ground it. There should be a plus VCC and minus VE, and output that will be from pin number 6 of that op-amp. There is need of feedback to avoid desaturation. So that feedback will be applied through this resistor, which is known as feedback resistor. Okay. Now I will consider 3 input voltage sources. Suppose this one is V1, which is applied through resistor R1. Another, I will call it as V2, which is applied through resistor R2. And third one, I will consider as V3, applied through resistor R3. And commonly it is given as the input to our op-amp, one of the input. Okay. This node, I think last time we considered this one as node A, this one as node B. Now, somewhat more considerations. Current flowing through feedback resistor, that is RF, is considered as IF. Current flowing by V1 through resistor R1, I will call it as I1. Through R2, I will call it as I2, and through resistor R3, I will call it as I3. And all these currents will get added and will try to flow through the input terminal of that op-amp. That current I will be going to call it as only I. Okay. Current flowing through the non-inverting terminal, I will call it as IA. Current flowing through the inverting terminal, I will call it as IB. Right? Is it okay? 3 input voltage sources are considered as V1, V2 and V3 are combinedly applied to the inverting terminal of this op-amp through resistors R1, R2 and R3. Due to that 3 different voltage sources, 3 currents are shown as I1, I2 and I3 respectively. Okay. So looking towards this circuit diagram, we can write, see, all these 3 currents are incoming current to this node and outgoing current from that node is considered as I. Okay. So you can write that I equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3. Right? Similarly, you can write that I equals to IB plus IF. Again, to the next node, there is one incoming current, that is I, which is equals to I1 plus I2 plus I3, and two outgoing currents. One is current flowing through the inverting terminal of that op-amp, that is considered as IB, and another one, that is IF. Okay. Now, again you have to note down, as Ri of op-amp is considered as infinite, therefore you can write IB equals to 0. Input current to the op-amp, that will be equals to 0, and hence simply you can write I equals to IF, or you can write, what is this I? I is nothing but addition of all these three currents. Therefore, you can write I1 plus I2 plus I3 is equals to IF. Are you agree with this up to over here? Is it visible properly? Whatever I am writing on the board, is it visible? Okay. So see, next consideration, that is my virtual ground concept, that non-inverting terminal, terminal A, it is grounded, right now. So by virtual ground concept, VA equals to VB is equals to 0, because non-inverting terminal is grounded, right now. And that's why potential at node A will be same as that of potential at node B. And that is equals to 0 because of grounded terminal, that's non-inverting terminal, right? Now, we have to write how much will be I1, I2, I3 and IF. What is I1? I1 is nothing but current flowing by the first voltage source, that is V1, through its series connected R1, right now. Here you can write next step as I1 equals to, what will be I1? Can anyone? How much will be I1? Such type of analysis we already done in the previous applications. So I1 is nothing but the current flowing through R1, so we have to consider the potential difference across that R1 divided by the resistance of that resistor, right? So I1 equals to V1 minus VB divided by R1, and that will be equals to V1 by R1 only, and VB is equals to 0 by virtual ground concept. Similarly, I2 will be equals to V2 minus VB divided by R2, and that is equals to again V2 by R2, and third current, that is I3 equals to V3 minus VB divided by R3, which is equals to V3 by R3, and last one, that is IF, we have to define. IF equals to VB minus VO, potential difference is VB to VO, so VB minus VO divided by RF, and that's why it will be equals to minus VO by RF. Got it? All that various currents we already define how much it will be. I1 that will be equals to V1 by R1, I2 that is V2 by R2, I3 V3 by R3, and last one, that is IF, that will be equals to minus VO by RF as VB is equals to 0. Okay. Now we have to compare all these. So simply I will going to write it over here. V1 by R1 plus V2 by R2 plus V3 by R3 equals to, that is I1 plus I2 plus I3 equals to IF. That's why I written it like this. Equals to minus VO by RF. Correct? Therefore, VO equals to, simply you can write minus VO equals to minus, I will take this RF over here, negative sign also I taken, so I written it outside this bracket. So VO equals to RF by R1 into V1 plus RF by R2 into V2 plus RF by R3 into V3. Okay. So you will observe that output voltage, it is nothing but RF by that series connected resistor times of that applied input voltage. Right now. So see, if you consider over here, like if R1 is equals to R2 equals to R3 equals to R, means all that series connected resistors are of same value, that is equals to R, then the same equation you can write VO equals to minus RF by R times in bracket simply V1 plus V2 plus V3. Correct? So this is nothing but summing amplifier. All that three voltage sources are added and then it is amplified by RF by R times. Okay. So the output of this circuit, it will be simply the addition of all three voltage sources into its amplification factor, and that amplification factor it gets decided by RS and that R. Okay. So this is nothing but what? It is a summing amplifier. Note down it properly. Because addition is done as well as its amplification is also done. Amplification is by RF by R times. Okay. This negative sign, it is due to the inverting configuration of op-amp. Okay. If you use all these three sources to the non-inverting terminal, then you will get at the output side positive side. Right. Now, next step is that feedback resistor RF is equals to R. If these two resistors are of same value, then what will be the output voltage? Therefore, VO will be equals to minus simply V1 plus V2 plus V3. Right? And this is nothing but adder. You have to call it now as adder circuit. So in adder circuit, all resistors should be of same value. In summing amplifier, RF should be greater than the input resistors used with each voltage source. Right? So this last equation, you have to call it as a simply adder. There is no amplification. Only addition of all that input voltage sources is done. That is nothing but VO equals to minus V1 plus V2 plus V3. Got it? So this is nothing but summing amplifier or adder. Next application. Okay. Now the next one we will see, and that is nothing but difference amplifier. Is it okay up to over here? Any doubt? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So we'll go for next application, and that is nothing but difference amplifier. So as per this title given to this next application, you might have understood whatever the circuitry I will going on to draw, it will going on to amplify the difference between two input signals. Okay, and if only it subtracts the difference between two inputs and accordingly provides the output without amplification, then it is called as a subtractor. Okay, if the output is difference times of amplification, difference plus amplification, then it is known as a difference amplifier. If the output is only the difference of that two applied input signal, then it is known as a subtractor. Okay. Now, as I said, difference between two input signal means we have to consider two inputs separately applied to that two input terminals of that op-amp. Here I will call it as V1 applied to the non-inverting terminal and another input to the inverting terminal as V2. Okay, suppose this resistor is of value R1, we will call it as R2, we will call it as R compensating, and one more resistor that is in feedback path. And this is nothing but RF, okay, with plus minus DC sources. So this is the final circuit diagram for this difference amplifier or subtractor. Okay. Now we will analyze it. How much will be the output voltage? Right. If that VO obtained is V1 minus V2 only, then it is simply a subtractor circuit. If the output is somewhat gain times of V1 minus V2, then it is known as difference amplifier. Okay. So here we have to consider two cases. First one, or one by one, by V1, how much will be the output voltage, and by V2, how much will be the output voltage. That we will go on to analyze. Okay. So first case, we'll consider only there is V1 and V2 is equals to 0. That means this terminal where the second voltage source is shown, we have to make it ground. Okay. This is our first consideration. So I will simply connect it to ground. I will call this node as node A, this one as node B, as usual. Right. So here VA is equals to VB, and that will be non-zero. So see, the shown circuitry, it will simply going on to act as a non-inverting amplifier, which we studied earlier, right now, because that input is applied to the non-inverting, while inverting terminal, we consider that first case, if that V2 is equals to 0. So it is simply working as non-inverting amplifier. Okay. A small difference is there that I will highlight, whatever you studied previously. In previous case, we shown that Vin directly connected to the non-inverting terminal, but in this case, I shown it through somewhat two resistors, that is R1 and R compensating. Mostly, this R compensating is taken as equals to RF. Value of this feedback resistor and compensating resistors are same. Similarly, if R1 is equals to R2, what happens? That also we will go on to analyze later. Okay. So you have to write here, as per that virtual ground concept, VA equals to VB, and that will not be equals to 0. It will be non-zero. So how much will be VA? Can anyone looking towards the circuit diagram? You already studied voltage divider rule. Okay, just consider this much part. We have to find out the node voltage obtained by two series connected resistors, that is R1 and R compensating. That R compensating is almost equals to RF. Okay. So how much will be VA? VA, it will not be equals to V1, remember, because that VA, it is obtained by voltage divider, which is formed by R1 and R compensating, right? So VA equals to V1, that is source is V1 into R compensating, that is nothing but RF. I will write it over here so that there will be no confusion, divided by total resistance is R1 plus R compensating. Okay. As R is equals to RF, we can rewrite this equation as VA equals to V1 into RF divided by R1 plus RF. Okay. So this much will be the node voltage A and will be same as VB by virtual ground concept. Is it okay? Is it okay?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, by this much VA, how much will be the output voltage? That output voltage, we will call it as VO1. VO1 equals to, that is nothing but output voltage obtained by the application of input signal V1 only. By that V1, there will be a node voltage VA, which is equals to this much, right? So this circuit, as it looks simply as a non-inverting amplifier, for non-inverting amplifier circuit, what is the gain? So closed loop gain is equals to, we already derived it, it is 1 plus RF by R1, right now. So the obtained output voltage, that is VO1 by first input signal, is equals to 1 plus RF by R1 times of VA. Is it? So I will write here that VO1 equals to, gain is 1 plus RF by R1, and what is VA? That is difference voltage. VA is into V1 into RF divided by R1 plus RF. Okay. And that is equals to, I can write it as R1 plus RF first term divided by R1. I can rewrite it like this. First bracket into V1 into RF divided by R1 plus RF. Okay, so this R1 plus RF, it will get cancelled. So you will observe that VO1 is equals to RF by R1 times of V1. So this much will be the output voltage due to the first input signal source, and that is V1. Note it properly. Okay. Now case 2, we'll consider only V2 and V1, we will make it 0. So that the change will be like this. I will make it 0. And we have to consider the second voltage source, that is V2. Okay. Now in this case, you will observe VA equals to VB equals to 0 because that non-inverting terminal is grounded by virtual ground concept. Okay. Now looking toward this circuitry, again it looks somewhat like a inverting amplifier. Right now, non-inverting terminal, it is grounded through some resistors. It's okay, but it is at ground potential and input is applied to the inverting terminal only. Okay, and that's why it is acting as inverting amplifier. So for inverting amplifier, we are already familiar how much is the gain, open loop gain. For inverting amplifier, AV equals to minus RF by R1. Right now. Accordingly, you can determine that output voltage. And that output voltage, we will call it as VO2. Okay. So VO2 equals to that is the output voltage obtained by second voltage source. So VO2 equals to, it will be minus Rf by R1 times of that input, that is nothing but V2. Are you agree with this? Rf by R2 actually, in this case, because input resistance we consider it as R2. Okay, so minus Rf by R2 times of V2, simply. Right. Now see, how much will be the net output voltage, or before going to that, we'll consider if that R2 is equals to R1. That means these two resistors are of same value, R1 and R2. Okay, so I can replace this R2 by R1. Therefore, we can write VO2 equals to minus Rf by R1 times of V2. Now, net output voltage as VO equals to VO1 plus VO2. Right? Net obtained output voltage, that will be the output voltage individually by V1 and V2. And that's why I written it as VO equals to VO1 plus V2, and that is equals to Rf by R1 times of V1 minus Rf by R1 times of V2. Correct? So you can take that Rf by R1 as common. So Rf by R1 in bracket, you will observe the remaining term is V1 minus V2. So this is the net output voltage. So you will observe in this case, the obtained output voltage, it is the difference of applied inputs with somewhat amplification. And that's why it is known as a difference plus amplifier, right? Is it okay? The shown VO, this is for difference amplifier. Difference between V1 and V2 and amplification by Rf by R1 times, as Rf is greater than R1. Okay. Now, the last consideration if that feedback resistor is equals to R1. If these two resistors are equal, okay, then how much will be VO? That VO, it will be simply V1 minus V2. So see, this equation, it is applicable to difference amplifier. And this equation, if Rf is equals to R1, this is nothing but subtractor. Got it? That's why the same circuitry can be called as a difference amplifier, or it can be called as a subtractor. So I think our time is already